Hey friends, this is Marilyn from tarotclarity.com, and I want to thank those of you who watched my recent video on the Matrix and alternate parallel worlds and all that. It was a little bit of a step away from tarot, but I hope you don't mind. And you know, sometimes when people are into tarot cards, they're into other things that are metaphysical as well. So I hope it was okay. Today we're back on tarot. I probably need to get out more too. I probably don't need to be taking my mind into these crazy places. But I thought today might be fun to do a video on like tarot shorthand, like combination of cards. Now, I have gone through it, a lot of examples on my blog, which I know nobody visits, but I'll put a couple of my tarot combination articles in this description area. Before I've had my tarot website forever, for a long time, and I put all my energy in the blog at one point, and until I realized that I enjoyed doing videos so much more. So then I sort of abandoned my website, unfortunately. So, you know, I don't do anything to keep the algorithms going, so I know nobody really can ever find it. But it's got some good information there, and you can access my blog through the YouTube, my page. But this, I'll put the link to these specific articles regarding tarot notations when you see a couple of cards together, what it could mean. Now, bear in mind that we all have a relationship with the cards, and you know, I'm not telling you that this is how it has to be, or that this is the only combination of cards that could mean the following things. And I'm not trying to say that this is the only shorthand you could use to express these concepts. So bear that in mind. I'm not saying that that's the case, but it's what I would use, or if I saw them in combination, I might think of it. I might think of this expression, right? So let's get with it. The first one I thought we would do is follow the money. Now, sometimes if we're doing a reading and it has to do with maybe somebody's personality type, or like somebody asks you, what's my future partner going to be like, you know, and you have this combination of cards, I might think it's somebody who is following the money, or that kind of personality. Let me flip the camera and show you some of the combinations I've come up with. And I have several other expressions. So I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7. So if I think of any more, I'll add them, and maybe I'll do a part 2 or something. Now, if the individual is a male and you see these two cards, this is a large sum of money, and then this is somebody who's chasing after something. Not only does his eye see a coin, but then there's like a jackpot of coins in front of him. So this would be some, you know, if I saw this combination and I was trying to get some identity or some understanding of an individual's personality, I think I might come to that conclusion if I saw these two cards together. Now, of course, if the individual is a woman, it could still apply. It's just the concept, not necessarily that it's a man or a woman. Now, if I saw this combination, I would say, well, he's chasing the money and he'll probably be successful because he's focused on what he wants. But if I saw this combination of an individual chasing the money, then I might suggest that it's still follow the money, or the person's following the money, but maybe he's a risk taker, or maybe he's not as astute, you know, or as dedicated to the cause as somebody like this might be. Okay, I'm going to pause between each one of these so you don't have to endure me finding the cards I need. Okay, so the next expression is Calamity of Errors. Now, I want to point out that the beautiful deck that I'm using is the Tarot Sheet Revival deck by Sullivan Hismans, the recent Jacques Vievil tarot deck. I'm using this deck because I'm in love with it, and it's my most recent acquisition. However, now bear in mind also that a different deck might have a different feel for certain cards. You know, you read the deck. I'm reading this deck. This card is the card that is associated with the Tower. And when I see the Tower, the first thing that comes to my mind is some kind of calamity or some kind of, you know, destruction or disruption. It all depends on the context of the question and the cards that are surrounding it. But I kind of thought of calamity of errors. So if, sometimes situations are like a calamity of errors. And if I were to see the Tower card followed by certain cards, and it doesn't have to be these two, but these are the two that popped into my mind. Either the Nine of Swords, which could suggest a calamity of miscommunication. It might be specific what kind of calamity it was, a calamity of miscommunication, or the Five of Batons in the social circle, a calamity of, interactions between individuals. It would probably be this card and then some odd numbered card that suggests action. Now, if it could be a calamity of errors regarding matters of the heart, it could be like that card and then say the Two of Cups, because it could be a suggestion of picking again, getting into a calamity situation of the heart, Sometimes people ask, every one of my partners that so far have been treated me unwell, or there's been this issue with them, emotionally or whatever. And it was like, well, there's a calamity of maybe chasing the same or being attracted to, or you have a pattern of, picking them, that kind of thing. Okay, the next one. So, these cards could vary. They don't have to, be. And then say, for example, it was regarding money. I would pick probably the Five of Coins. And, say there's been I don't know where my coins are. Well, if I pick, say, 5 coins, it would be maybe an indication. Here they are. They're not in the proper order. A calamity of errors regarding money, mishaps. If the question is about money, what am I doing wrong? It's like, well, you've made a collection of errors regarding money, or you've made a collection of errors regarding matters of the heart, or the social scenario has been unbalanced, and there's just been a calamity of mistakes made by everybody who was involved in a project, or a severe, calamity of words, right? Okay, let's pick the next expression, which is what I just did a video on, which I thought was fun, and it made me think of this. Glitch in the matrix. So that might be easy to do. Let's pull the Batelier, which I think the Batelier could represent a glitch. It could represent tricks, right? Things not going as planned or getting derailed, right? So, and if we were to have, say, I think the Ten of Batons really would show a matrix, wouldn't it? So if I were to see, like, the Ten of Batons, and if I was asking a question, and, now this wouldn't necessarily be, glitch in the matrix every time these two cards appear. You remember, you're reading in the context of the question. So if you're doing a reading on metaphysical, or what is out there, or what is the truth of reality, right? And you were to see something like this, a combination like this, it could suggest a glitch in the matrix. If you were to ask, like, what was that experience I had the other day? It was so strange. What was that? And if I saw this combination of cards, my mind might go immediately to a glitch in the matrix. And the other topic in that other video made me think of parallel universes, and it occurred to me that for parallel universes, we could show a few. Here, we get the World card first. We can get a few aces together because they're single, right? A single object. I guess even to some degree the Ace of Cups, but I think not. I think the batons would be another one that would be good. So forget about the passive suits, but because the batons and the swords would be vertical lines, so it would be like parallel universes, right? That might, and again, it would only really be appropriate if you're asking a question regarding that kind of topic or metaphysical thing, like what happens after death, and you were to see this. The first thing I would think in the context of the question would be parallel universes. So you see, like, the combination of tarot cards can be visual, right? Or it can be the meaning of the numbers. It could be a lot of things, and you get acquainted with the cards the more frequently you do them. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens over a period of time that you start to make connections with the cards. And when you start to see the cards and you're able to read them in the context of the question, always, my rule of thumb is to interpret the cards to answer the question. Now, some people say, I just read the cards. Well, whatever falls, I don't apply it to anything. Well, that's fine. That's your business. You're allowed to do whatever you want. But this is how I do it, I'm trying to get the most direct answers to a situation. So why wouldn't I address the situation? You know what I'm saying? Okay. What about something like senior citizen, right? And say, for example, you're an employer and you're trying to determine who would be a good person for a position, and you have a young teenager or a young kid who just wants the job for after school, or a senior citizen, right? And you want to know which one of those candidates would probably be your best option, or who should I consider? You might consider doing a senior citizen, because the senior citizen probably needs the job more than the kid, and they're going to be more reliable because they're going to show up every day because they're not going to school and they don't have 2,000 friends, right? So we might have, and my cards got out of order, unfortunately, because I wasn't careful, but we might have the Hermit, we might have the Hermit, and a king or a queen, because a king and a queen of whatever suit, it doesn't matter. But the king and queen a king and queen would represent somebody who has fully matured and is a master of their realm, right? So if it was a man or a woman, and it could be any of the suits. I don't think it really matters much. But the Hermit preceding, say, a queen or a king, might suggest picking a senior citizen. And then the whatever suits the king or queen might be could also suggest what their personality traits might be. So if they say, oh, the seniors consider a senior citizen who's really good with people, then that might be it. Or the king or queen of batons might be a really good match, because I see that as a social suit, right? Or somebody who's good with money. You want somebody who's really, a senior citizen who's good with money at the cash register. So you might pick somebody like that. And the other one, somebody who's quick with words, or maybe somebody who's had experience in law, or somebody, their job before they retired perhaps was in law enforcement, or has some experience in that realm that might be helpful. And the last one, no, there's two more. Vanity before the fall. Now I see, as I mentioned, let me get the cards out so you don't have to endure that. So sometimes, if I were to see, usually when I see either the Devil or the Tower card, almost the first thing that pops into my head is vanity before the fall, no matter which one pops up, because this one, is can represent vanity, and this one represents some kind of decline or some kind of fall. But with the two of them together, it would be like, wow, check your intents, or intention, or make sure you're not just doing something out of vanity or for your ego, because from vanity comes before the fall comes vanity, or vanity before the fall. So that, to me, no matter what the question is, I would consider that this might have a role to play within that. And then the very last one could be like deadbeat parents. I've seen that on the news. I've seen articles on deadbeat parents. Let me pull the cards. Okay, so now bear in mind, I would never say somebody was a deadbeat parent, even if the cards suggested that. I would phrase it in a way to just suggest that they pay better attention to the welfare of a child, especially if the question regards a child. But if, for example, somebody was, not paying child support, whether it was the mother or the father, and I saw the dead and then, the court card of coins, and it could be a knight, right? I didn't pull the knight of coins, because some fathers are young, right? Some fathers are young, some fathers are older, and we only have usually one woman to represent, one queen to represent all the women. However, you could use the page of coins or cups, maybe to represent a young mother. But if we're talking about full-blown adults that are not, immature, that they've reached their maturity, but they're maybe neglecting some aspect. So like this, I kind of think this might be a deadbeat parent is regarding money. Now, a deadbeat parent regarding attention, or they're just not paying attention to a child. Could be like deadbeat parents, either one, who aren't paying attention, right? This was probably the most controversial one. And like I said, I would never say somebody was a deadbeat parent. But the cards, might suggest to me that I might recommend that they pay a little more attention in those realms of maybe, stepping up some support, or, stepping up your attention to paying attention, better attention. At any rate, I hope this was a quick and fun video for you. Until next time, peace, stay well, be kind, and do no harm.